macOS, macOS, macOS. For some reason, every single PC user wants to use macOS and they don't want to buy a MacBook because they're not powerful enough. But then they're buying a PC because they're gamers. So on Mac, we all know you can't game. Or they don't have the money to spend £1,000, but they want to run macOS. Now there is an easy way to run macOS. You can use a virtual machine, but for example on AMD you will have problems and you won't be able to install it. But I managed to install macOS as an AMD processor and it's right here. So if you want to learn how to install macOS in a VM using an AMD processor, then stay tuned. Now in this tutorial we're going to use VMWare Play 17. I have the Pro version, but you can use the player version as well. And depending on the processor you will have to do some small things. So just pay attention, do every single thing that I do, and I will assure that your macOS will boot. So the first thing that you have to do is either install VMware 17 Pro or VMware 17 Player. So that you just go on Google and you download. It's free, the Player one, and the Pro one you have to pay. I have the Pro, but this one will work on the Player as well. The second one, you have to download the unlocker. So you will have here a source code. You just click on this one. The link will be in the description below. Once you download it, you go here and then you go .win install, and this one you right click and you run as administrator. You click yes. Here it will do all kind of things. So here it will actually work depending on your internet connection. So just be patient and let it finish download. Once it finished downloads, now you can actually open VMware. So you open VMware, you create a new virtual machine, you leave it here typical. I will install macOS later, I will install the operating system later, and now you will see the option that macOS is now available. So you select macOS and you go to macOS 13. Now there is a catch, macOS on AMD processor will not work unless it's macOS 13. So the newer version of macOS will not work at the moment. So you select macOS 13. Now you select where do you want to save it. So I will leave it in documents in macOS 13. I will select next. Click store virtual disk on a single file. Here you just give the storage that you want your partition to have. So the storage that macOS you want to have available, and you click next. Now you go to configure, and here you will have how many gigabytes of RAM do you want this machine to use. So I will give it 8. I have 32, but still I'll give it 8. Core, here you have to play with it. So the processor, how much power do you want your macOS to have, so your virtual machine to have. So here I'm not going to play with it until I install macOS. After you play with it and you have an idea how it will go. And now you go to this one, new CD and DVD, you select use ISO image, you click browse, then you go to wherever you downloaded the macOS image. So here is macOS Monterey, it's by techrichard.com, so thank you very much for providing this to us. Click and you click finish. Now here is the thing where you will have problems, because if I click power on this machine, this will not work. So what you have to do is shut down the VMware, go on Google, and then go on this website. And here there's a forum. So there's an article here and there's a forum here with the processor, with everything. So depending on the model number that you have on the processor. So I have Ryzen 5 5600X. So if I search for this, then I have the confirmation that this thing from here, so this one will work with my processor as well. So on your computer this one works for me. So change this thing. So what this means? That means you have to go on files, go to documents, and go to wherever you saved the macOS. So here you open macOS, and on this one macOS 13.vmx. So keep in mind this one will have the name that you will give. So I will stay with macOS 13, and this one you open it with the notepad. Once you open with notepad, so we'll go here. So change 16 to 10. So via virtual HD version, this one we have to change it to 10. So just click Ctrl F to search here, and I have 20. So here I'll change it to 10. And then simply just add this one. So you will ask you to add these commands. Now these commands, you go bottom and you just press enter on the last thing and you add these commands over here. And here you will click save. Now, depending on your BIOS, because there's a possibility you do not have virtualization on in your BIOS, so you will see what I mean right now. Now you open the workspace and now you click power on this machine. And how you can see, macOS is slowly booting right now. So the problem with this one, keep in mind, it will take some time. The reason why it will take some time is because when we selected the power that we want to give to the operating system, to macOS, to the virtual machine, we only give memory RAM, but we did not give too much power in processors. So macOS will be very, very slow. So from my experience, it will take about an hour to actually install. So keep this in mind. And how you can see, we're now booted in the installer. So what do you have to do here is you click next, you go to disk utility, and here you go show all devices, and you will have here VMware Virtual SATA. So this is the storage that we gave. Remember, we gave it 80 gigabytes, right? So you have to erase it. Give it a name, I don't know, macOS, and just erase. So once this is done, this is what is preparing the partition for the install. So now you click done, you click install macOS Monterey, you click continue, continue, again, keep in mind, it will take some time to actually load and install. We didn't give any power to the workstation, so it will take some time. The virtual machine right now is running at literally the lowest power possible because we didn't give any processor. So you will say about 17 minutes. It's not going to be about 17 minutes. It's probably going to be about an hour. So keep in mind, it will do the restart automatically. It will do everything automatically. So be patient, and I will see you guys after it's finished. After the install, all we have to do is literally just wait, set it up, everything will be fine. And now, after I set it up, you will actually boot in macOS. So the thing here, you put the password that you put during setup. And that's it. You will now boot in macOS. Now keep in mind, when you give power to the computer, keep in mind of how much power you give it. So normally it's recommended to give half of the power that you have to the VM and half to keep it for your computer. Now, how you modify this one? Well, to modify this one, now you shut down macOS. So after you set it up, after you everything, go and shut it down. Once we shut it down, we just go to edit, and here we will give how many number of processor and number of cores. So keep in mind how many cores you have, how many processors you have. So number of processor, you put 1, and number of cores, you put how many cores you want, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you give it more power. If you will see that it's actually working slower than before, then reduce number of cores that you give, and that's it. That's how you install macOS. I hope you guys like it, and I will see you guys in the next one.